网络强国，
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 网络的强国战略。
Internet strong power, a repeated slogan in 2017, is closely related to many big events happening on China's internet. Today, let's talk about what internet strong power means and what it means to China's 700 million netizens. The Chinese Communist Party has seen its internet policy as key to its very survival. In terms of the sheer number of internet users, China has long been a major internet power. Now, the party is focusing on developing three main areas to become an internet superpower: the internet economy, cybersecurity, and cyber sovereignty. China encourages the use of mobile phones and the internet among its citizens, while also investing large sums in developing online industry. E-business and e-finance have come together in a rapidly growing internet economy, which has benefited its citizens. Cybersecurity matters for every country. For most countries, cybersecurity means protecting citizens and defending national security. But in China, a major target of cybersecurity is its own citizens. Limiting the dissemination of information and controlling commentaries are essential to realize a unique version of cybersecurity and rise to internet superpower.
It would force them to change the way they are governing because it would allow for much greater transparency and criticism and whistleblowing, just give Chinese people a much more accurate sense of what was happening in their country and a much closer connection to the rest of the world. And that's really what the Chinese Communist Party fears greatly.
In the 13th five-year plan outlined at the end of 2016, China's leadership explicitly stressed the party must firmly grasp the correct direction of public opinion and the dissemination of positive energy. Following this plan, in January 2017, China's Ministry of Industry and Information Technology announced that it will purify the internet. In June, soon after the implementation of the new cybersecurity law, three media online outlets, namely Weibo, AC Fun, and Phoenix TV Online, were rectified. Next, new regulation requires any video streamed online in China must be approved by the government. Real name registration was rolled out for online chat rooms and net forums, with data to be stored by providers for a period of at least 6 months. Forum creators are required to monitor and take responsibility for the content of all discussions in their forums, and to report any illegal discussions to the authorities, or will face legal consequences. In September, internet giants Baidu, Sina, and Tencent were all fined for failing to fulfill their management duties and were subsequently required to strengthen their internal censorship controls. The clearly political fight for enhanced monitoring and control has been dressed up, however, as a moral mission to protect underage web users. Actually, the censorship went far beyond sexual and violent content. On a Wikipedia list of websites blocked in China, 67 are social media sites, another 66 relate to religion or NGOs, and a total of 156 are international media and publishers. According to data compiled by GreatFire.org, over 7,000 domains have been completely blocked in China, along with more than 80,000 URLs, over 3,000 Weibo search terms, more than 800 Wikipedia entries, more than 20,000 Google search terms. And these are only the blocks that GreatFire.org monitors, undoubtedly only the tip of the iceberg.
The cybersecurity law coming into effect and all of the various regulations related to it, I think the situation is quite different at the end of 2017 than it was at the beginning of 2017, and very different than if you look back to a period like 2012. I think the space for social and political conversations and the level of risk that Chinese people take to engage in those conversations, the space is less and the risk is much higher.
In November, Freedom House released its annual Freedom on the Net report for 2017. The report compares internet access in 65 countries, analyzing and ranking user experiences based on 3 parameters: obstacles to access, limits on content, and violations of users' rights.
We have 3 sections of our survey, and China scores badly across all of them.
Internet freedom in China ranked below the war-torn country Syria, below Ethiopia that has been plagued by natural disasters and internal turmoil, and below the extremely conservative country Iran. For the third year in a row, China earned the title of the world's worst abuser of internet freedoms. Chinese netizens trapped inside the Great Firewall have to use VPNs to access outside information. VPNs, however, are also tightly controlled.
And the government's intention is to authorize certain companies to provide VPN services and try and ban the ones that may be more likely to be used to combat censorship.
Bloomberg News reported last year that Beijing ordered all major telecommunications carriers to block individuals' access to VPNs by early 2018. Apple completely capitulated to the state's orders on VPNs, later admitting as much to the U.S. Senate.
Apple admitted that it had removed 674 VPN apps from its App Store in China.
Apple's decision to limit users' access to information in exchange for greater access to the China market was condemned by media across the world.
Critics say Apple is enabling China's censorship.
We always try to do is find the areas where you can work together, find the areas of commonality, and then the things that you disagree with, take time to understand how somebody sees it.
Netizens are still trying to use VPNs or writing creative homonyms in place of sensitive terms in the struggle for internet freedom. Such dedication to fighting for freedom is honorable. At the same time, though, it is also tragic, as ever more people find themselves becoming sacrificial offerings to build up this new internet superpower by being persecuted.
Everybody thinks it's all about other people, and it's the police are just. It's just that until it happens to you.
The Chinese government domestically focuses on controlling public opinion while developing economy. Internationally, it exports its idea of internet sovereignty, a term for absolute internet control, as an ideal model for Saudi Arabia and other authoritarian countries. Seeing this, how could one not be concerned about the future of human rights across the world?
I have incredible respect for the achievements and the importance of Chinese culture and Chinese history, a nation that for almost all of human history, I want that potential and that history to be unleashed to change the world in a positive way. Unfortunately, that is not what we see. What we see here on the behalf of the government and the Communist Party is an effort to roll back the advances towards human freedom that have been made over the last 100 years, and particularly since the end of the Second World War. And that's also important to communicate.
So what does internet strong power mean to you and me? While we are enjoying the convenience and material brought by the internet and the economic development, have we lost the ability of thinking or even the rights of thinking in exchange? In 2017, we can still hear the people's loud voices against censorship and control. When their voices are quieted, what a frightening silence it will be.